Hello everybody and welcome back to another Maidstone United review. This time we're taking a little look back over yesterday's 7:45 kickoff under the floodlights, under the torrential rain conditions. Maidstone United versus Wealdstone FC at the Gallagher Stadium. And of course, coming off the back of that terrible Gateshead defeat just a week and a half ago, the Stones really had to up their game this time, and this time they managed to get a point, a late goal, unfortunately being the equaliser for Wealdstone. But in this video, I'm going to talk about what I thought of the game and how I think we can improve it going forward. So to kick things off, let's take a little look at what happened before yesterday's game. We did see the introduction of Ryan Galvin on a 2-month loan, a left back, coming in from Sheffield Wednesday, and what a fantastic game he had as well. If you're on the supporters group or the forums, I haven't checked the forums yet, but the supporters group definitely saw some high praise from him as well. And a little bit of a spoiler, on the commentary last night, myself and my co-commentator Callum Owen did end up giving Ryan Galvin the man of the match. Fantastic all-round performance from him. Really impressed actually by his ability to carry the ball forward. As someone who's slightly bigger, he's about, I'd have to guess, maybe 6 foot, 6'1", something like that. He does look quite tall on the pitch. Of course, we haven't got the tallest team in the world, but in comparison, he did look like quite a big player. He's very quick, very good on the ball, drives really well on the inside of the field, but also knows how to get out wide and get a ball in as well. So hopefully in the coming weeks we get to see a lot more from him, but very promising signs to start off with. As for the rest of the back line, Yusuf Mersin did have a very uneventful game yesterday. Unfortunately for the goal we did concede right at the death, there's nothing he can do about it. It's absolutely rocketed in the opposite corner to where he is from just poor defending from their captain. No goalkeeper in the world saving that. That's a defensive problem there. So as for what Mersin did have to do, he saved an offside shot really well that he didn't know was offside, was called into action a couple times to help distribute the ball. He was used a lot last night, Yusuf Mersin. There would be times where we'd get the ball onto the halfway line and kind of look for an option and perhaps decide that it was a bit too risky to try and play it further forward, and we'd actually opt back to go to Mersin, drag Wealdstone out and recycle the play. So he was used a lot yesterday. There was only 1 or 2 times I can remember him actually putting the ball out of play, so a bit of an improvement there, of course, which is always nice to see. And given the conditions yesterday, you're expecting a couple of balls to go out because it was absolutely awful, really windy, really rainy, not nice at all to be playing football in. Rest of the defence, should I say as well next, Gavin Hoyt, reliable as ever. There was most of their action coming down Gavin Hoyt's side. I think they realised that Galvin was just too quick if they wanted to try and break past him, but they did have some of their better players and more creative outlets down the left-hand side as well. Mundell Smith, very quick, tricky player. We saw Brown coming out to the left-hand side a lot. Adamola as well, doing exactly the same thing. And they did try and overload that side, but I thought Gavin Hoyt did quite well with them. And George Fowler as well, playing next to Gavin Hoyt as that right central defender. For me, exceptional. I thought he was absolutely brilliant for an incredible amount of the game. I didn't quite see who switched off for their goal, but I've been told it was just general defending. Nobody really picking the person out to close down, so can't really blame it on an individual there until we see the highlights at least. But yeah, for me, George Fowler, very close second in the man of the match. Back in his centre-back position. He's been played out of position a lot this season. He was not with Joe through a lull either, as his more common centre-back partner. And he was only with, he's with Cauley Foster as well, who has only played 1 game for us so far. So, it's not like he's with Jack Cauley, who he's known for a few months now, has been in the side for a while. So I was quite impressed to see how well we were defensively yesterday, or how good we were defensively. And for me, that was also helped out a lot by the midfield. Bhivesh Gurung back in that central defensive role, had a bit of an uneventful first half, as did the majority of the team, but in the second half getting stuck in a lot better in my opinion, really getting some big challenges in, helping us break. Got 1 opportunity actually to run into the box in the first half, which I thought was really good, and unfortunately was brought down, but nothing was given. So, it's good to see a bit more from him. Booty and Corn both had good games as well. Corn did pick himself up the only goal for Maidstone yesterday. It was a good finish, typical Sam Corn as well. I think it was Christy Patterson making the most of a defensive error by the left fullback of Wealdstone and managed to capitalise on that, get a ball across the box after faking a shot. Keeper's already gone, defender on the line, and Sam Corn, who's had to kind of lean back, and as he's going down, managed to just get the ball and stick it right into the top corner of the net, or the roof of the net, can't quite remember, but did loft it over the players in his way. So again, very stereotypical Sam Corn goal, that late run in towards the edge of the box, nobody picking him up. So yeah, it was really good to go 1-0 up yesterday, and after the uneventful game that we'd seen, we was kind of asking ourselves in the commentary box, are we even going to see a goal from either side? And, at times Wealdstone did look a little bit more threatening. Mundell Smith, again, it was really good coming down the left-hand side. They did bring on Alarakia as well, who I thought was causing all sorts of trouble when he came on. Very quick, very direct player, quite technical as well at times, which was something I wasn't expecting from him. And he had a golden opportunity to, I think, put them 1-0 up. It might have been an equaliser, but I think it was putting them 1-0 up when he was one-on-one with Mersin, really. And Mersin was covering one side of the goal, but the angle just opened up for him and he put it wide quite poorly, really. But, we got away with one there. And as for the forward line, as I said, Christy Patterson, I think, did pick himself up an assist. Jack Barham, unfortunately for me, had an incredibly poor game. I don't really think it was any of his doing, though. The service to him was not excellent, I will say that. But unfortunately, I just don't think this was the game for him. Their centre-halves, I think Eberue was his name, the number 5 for Wealdstone at the back. Absolutely ginormous, really big centre-half. And he must have been a good 8 to 10 inches taller than Jack Barham. And the competition was just not there. Jack Barham would be running through, and all he had to do was just step across him. Barham just bounced straight off, unfortunately. Same goes for the hold-up play. Would knock into Barham's feet. This guy's legs are about a foot longer than him, so he just go gadget leg straight through Jack Barham, got the ball away. So yeah, very uneventful game from Jack, unfortunately. But, for the majority of the game, he was the only person up in the attack or in the box. So for me, that is something we do need to sort out. We see it against the Aldershot game, or against Aldershot in that game as well a couple of weeks ago. I did mention it on the commentary last night that in the first half of that Aldershot game, Jack Barham was the only player, if any player, in the box for the whole first half against Aldershot. Second half, we get 3 or 4 players in the box for every ball coming in, and we score 3 goals in 6 minutes. So sometimes it really is as simple as that. I think last night, due to conditions, due to a few changes in the squad and stuff like that, we didn't really want to chuck too many people forward, but it would have been a little bit nicer to see maybe Rory Deacon and Sam Corn getting in the box for balls in from Christy Patterson, or Christy swapping with Deacon if he's putting the ball in. So yeah, it was a tough game for Barham. Deacon as well didn't get too much fortune. He did have the only other, I do believe, shot on target in the game, and it was a good shot as well worked. And he was getting a lot of space, linking up really well with Ryan Galvin in the first half. But second half, they just kind of locked down Wealdstone and did quite well to keep us pinned back. But yeah, overall, as a team performance, pretty impressed, I think, just from the solidity that we saw. Wealdstone are a good side. I know in my preview I did predict a 3-1 to Maidstone. At times they've not looked amazing, Wealdstone. But, if you can not look amazing and still get results, keep clean sheets like they have done, that's a sign of a pretty good side. And, they're still up there in and around the playoff spots. So they're going to be very happy with that. I think before the game, pretty much everybody would have taken a point from Wealdstone, especially after Gateshead last week. I mean, everybody probably thinking the worst. So, at the end of the day, a point is a point. That's one more than we would have had if we'd lost. So, it's simple maths. But, they do tot up towards the end of the season. I think we've now got 11 points from 8, which again is just above that 1 point average, which, in this league is what's going to keep you up, the range that we've got at the moment. If we do manage to get 11 every 7 or something like that, or 8, then I think we'll be looking all right towards the end of the season, just above that relegation zone. I do want us to do more than that, though. I think the players want to do a lot more than that. So hopefully we can see a few wins, picked up. Of course, we've got some very tough fixtures coming up as well in the coming weeks, but a little bit just before we get on to the Bromley game, I'll just quickly mention the substitutes that did come on yesterday as well. We saw Josh Fawole, I do believe it is pronounced, coming on, and I thought he was a lot better in that number 9 role. Unfortunately for Barham, his size just really didn't help. The conditions as well didn't really play to his game very well. And, the back three that they had at times was just ushering him out of the game. But Fawole with a bit more presence up front. He's a little bit bigger, just as fast. So he did get a little bit more involved, but again, not too much. It was just his hold-up play was a little bit better because of his size. I think that was it. I can't remember any other substitutions. James Alabi was going to come on, but I don't think he did in the end. We did opt to just keep the defenders on the field and not stick another striker on. So I think that was the only other change we made. But, if we did make another one, they weren't on the pitch long enough to get any sort of impact on the game. But as for the upcoming games, of course, we've got Bromley, we've got Chesterfield, we've got a lot of tough games coming up. I do think Bromley is going to be a really tough one. We are going to be able to see Ryan Galvin again, which is good. We might see Joel or Jack Cauley come back in, which should be quite good, having the more experienced leaders at the back. But I would really like to see George Fowler in that centre-back position again. I'd be very surprised if we don't after the game he had yesterday. And Cody Leons-Foster as well didn't look too bad, really. I thought he was quite solid for the vast majority of the game. A couple of times didn't quite win his duels, his headers, things like that. But, you're going to lose those in every game. You can't win everything. So, quite promising going forward. Hopefully, the boys are able to keep building on. We got a loss last time. We got a draw this time. Hopefully 3 points against Bromley. I will be commentating that game again, so hopefully no issues, fingers crossed, touch wood, all the rest of it. But I will be bringing out a preview for that game as well during the week, so do stay tuned for that one for a little bit more of an in-depth look at the Bromley game. And thank you all for watching. Do leave your comments down below on your thoughts on the Wealdstone game, and I'll catch you in the next one.